Uh, what up, everybody? This is your truly Rama screen. Sorry if my speech sounds kind of weird right now because I currently have this sore in my tongue, and it's gonna take a while to get over it. I guess I've been taking like medicine and Listerine and whatnot, but it still hurts when I speak. But I don't want to wait like a week to talk about this. I want to do this right now before I head out to San Diego Comic Con because this just happened this past 24 hours. Um, Netflix has officially decided to edit out, to cut out, or remove the suicide scene of Hannah Baker from the series 13 Reasons Why, specifically season one. Now, if you are not familiar with 13 Reasons Why, it's a show on Netflix starring Dylan Minnette and Catherine Langford, who plays Hannah Baker. And it's a drama following teenagers uncovering the story of Hannah's decision to end her life. In a nutshell, that's what it is. Um, and it's TVMA. It's rated TVMA, so for mature audiences. Unlike Stranger Things, which is TV 14, I believe. Obviously, because of not only the suicide scene, but I think there's a broom up somebody's butthole. It was a tough drama to watch, and I gotta be honest with you, I did not watch it religiously. I stopped watching it not because of those scenes, but because it was just too slow for my taste. And there were a bunch of other new shows coming up that I was like, oh, you know what? I gotta check those out first. So I got distracted, so I never actually caught up, especially with 13 Reasons Why season two. And season three comes up this year. Um, so on the show, in season one, Hannah Baker, this character, ended up killing herself. Pretty gruesome. I'm sure the scene is still online. You can probably YouTube it or Google it somewhere. But she's in this bathtub and she cuts her wrists, and it's like really graphic. They actually show the movement of her slitting her wrist wide open as the blood gushing out, as the blood gushes out. I'm sorry. And she was in pain the whole time. So like and then of course the rest is what happened. That's the particular scene. So this is what Netflix said in his statement. I want to give you their official statement, and I quote: "We've heard from so many young people that 13 Reasons Why encouraged them to start conversations about difficult issues like depression and suicide and get help, often for the first time. As we prepare to launch season 3 later this summer, we've been mindful about the ongoing debate around the show. So, on the advice of medical experts, including Dr. Kristen Motler, Chief Medical Officer at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, we've decided with creator Brian Yorkie and the producers to edit the scene in which Hannah takes her own life from season 1. So, if you have Netflix account, you can go on your Netflix account, go to the 13 Reasons Why season 1, the last episode, and voila, you'll find that the scene is no longer there. It's gone. I do not like this decision. I am against this decision. Um, Let me give you or share with you my personal experience. I did contemplate suicide back in college. Excuse me. It was nearing the graduation, and unlike many of my classmates who seem to know what their destinies would be, they would become doctors or lawyers or RNs or teachers or pastors, whatever study that they um took in college, I was this guy who just I'm one of those guys who don't quite actually know what career or destiny that or whatever it is that I'm supposed to be. I'm one of those. I'm part of that group, the I don't know group. So nearing graduation, I got really depressed because I like, oh God, I don't want to graduate because after I leave, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? I can't because I was taking this very vague general management study that I'm like, okay, there's no in demand for this out there. Nobody's gonna hire me. It's like it's so bleak the future for me that I went into depression very heavily. So, and um, I wrote a manifesto on Zanga um, about depression and killing myself and whatnot. So luckily, my RA and the deans of the dorm, I lived in the dorm, got hold of my Zanga account, and then they intervened. They had a talk with me, and the conversation that they had with me all night long, was the one that pretty much helped me or saved me from doing what potentially could be, you know, fatal. Um, so I have an experience, I guess you could say, or I can relate to this topic on a personal level. But back to 13 Reasons Why, here's why I'm against that scene being cut out. Um, it's like I never am, or I was never, and I'm still never. Let's just put it this way: I was never a fan of straight up banning. You know, um, banning something, anything, only makes that something or that anything look appealing. If you ban something and you push it underground, right? And now they become this sort of myth, like an attraction thing, like something like, oh my God, we got to do that because it's banned, it's so restricted, nobody's allowed to do it. And so it becomes like an attractive thing. Um, almost nothing good comes from just straight up banning something. All right, this is what I consider. This is editing out the suicide scene. It's like banning. It's like, no, we're not gonna let you see it. And here's the thing with graphic scenes such as this. Um, of course, you gotta approach it with consideration, right? Um, and they already did that by slapping or labeling this show with TVMA rating. So that's already like this is for mature audiences only. You know, if you under mature audiences and you still want to watch 13 Reasons Why, you gotta watch it with caution. That's what that TVMA label says basically inherently. Um, so there's no need to actually just like, okay, we're gonna go further and remove the scene completely, dude. You already have that label TVMA, and if your argument is, hey, including the suicide scene encourages or gives ideas to teens who are depressed, when they see Hannah Baker cutting her wrist, like, oh, maybe they're gonna try to copy it. That's such a lame excuse. Okay, that's like that's like an equivalence to back in the day when there were this. Remember that when Tippa Gore, this uptight lady, I think Al Gore's wife, I believe, she had this war on rock music and war on rap music. It's like, oh my God, the lyrics to these hip hop songs are so vulgar. They're gonna encourage teen pregnancy. They're gonna encourage murder and gangs and dude. It's just a fucking song. What the fuck? It's like, oh, video games are gonna lead to violence. I play violent video games. You don't see me killing anybody. So that's the equivalent. If your argument is like, hey, you know, Hannah Baker's death scenes or suicide scene will lead to um, more suicides, teen suicides out there. You're just stretching, man. You're just reaching. You're just trying to make correlation that's not really there. It's as if that it is as if teen suicides never happened prior to 13 Reasons Why show. You know what I'm saying? That's what your argument is basically saying. Like, oh, this is the cause of it. It's so freaking dumb. Now, my counter argument to that as well is, let me give you an example. Hotel Mumbai. It's the movie that came out last year, or this past year, as you say, this past year. It is based on a true story of when terrorists attacked um, a bunch of hotels in Mumbai, India. I believe that happened a decade ago. And if you've seen the movie, you would know that the movie is brutally, graphically violent. Like there are scenes of terrorists like straight up shooting um, bus boys or waitresses like point blank in their heads, and we the audience get to see that. It is very, very violent. Now, Tippa Gore and uptight folks like her would say, "Oh my God, this movie is so. How dare you show that scene? How dare you show that the movie's this violent? How dare you make a movie this violent?" But the rest of us, we don't see that as a glorification of violence. This is not Natural Born Killers, even though I like that movie, Natural Born Killers. But that's another topic for another time. But it's not glorifying violence. If anything, the violence in Hotel Mumbai only makes me feel disgusted with violence. I cringe at that. I'd be like, oh my God, the horrible things that we humankinds do to each other, unbelievable. That's what it does. Hotel Mumbai does not lead to, or does not cause many other hotel terrorisms out there, after the movie was released. So, but back to 13 Reasons Why. If anything, Hannah Baker's suicide scene is important. It's imperative. It means, artistically, credit to the show. It means that it doesn't shy away. It's bold. It's fierce. Okay, it's fierce. It's bold. It's like, hey, this is who we are. This is our show. Credit to the show for doing that artistically, from filmmaking or TV making standpoint. But from message standpoint, it's also as bold because it speaks about the characters, and also it allows the audience to it's not for shock value's sake, but it's like it's informing us like, hey, the suicide, especially the act of it, is not pleasant. It's painful. That's especially in this case, you know. Um, and look how gruesome that is. It makes, at least for me, it gives me second thoughts. It gives me pause. That's what the scene does to me, at least. You know, um, I think whether or not the scene exists, if somebody decides to unfortunately take their own life, you know, It's Let me just put it this way: the conversation has to be built around not this, but it has to be built around what can we do to help? Have we done enough to be there for our loved ones who are depressed? That's the conversation that should be built around. You know, are we there enough for them? Have we gone the distance for them? Have we done enough to listen to them or just be there, be present? That should be what the conversation is built around. Not like, oh my God, it's 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 too gruesome. I don't want to see it. Therefore I don't want anybody else to see it too. Oh my God, just like how rap music leads to like orgies and murders in real lives, and video games will lead to mass shootings. We're gonna erase this scene because it might lead to actual suicides. Unbelievable. Instead of that, the conversation should be about how we can be there for our loved ones who are depressed. And and scenes like this, if anything, at least for me, who've gone through contemplating suicide, it gives me pause. It's like, wow, I don't know if I want to put myself through that kind of ordeal. And even more than that, I don't know if I want to put my family through the ordeal of losing me or not having me around. So there's almost nothing good comes out of just straight up restricting or banning. Netflix recently banned smoking, or maybe I think they reduced it. I think to just like only one or two scenes from Stranger Things. That one I had a mixed bag because I think as a proponent of marijuana, I want people to transition from cigarette to marijuana. Marijuana is a lot healthier. Um, so so that one's a mixed bag. But with this, it's like, and then you wonder, like, okay, what's next, Netflix? What's next? What's the next restrictions? What's the next banning? Because you know you're not making yourself, you're not winning over anybody with all these restrictions and bannings. You're not winning our side or anybody's hearts and minds. It's just like, oh my God, because of a small fraction of dissatisfaction, or like small fraction of like outrage. Oh, we're gonna bend towards that. We're gonna admit defeat to that outrage. It's like, instead of being bold and fierce, what you should be, Netflix. So I'm really, really disappointed. I still have my Netflix account though. So I'm just gonna let you know my bias right now. But I think this decision by them is foolish, is counterproductive, and it just goes to show corporations towing down to just unnecessary outrage when there's other better, not better, other bigger things, more important things that we need to be outraged about out there. um this is like taking our focus away. You know what I'm saying? Freaking tax cuts for the wealthy. Freaking millions don't have health care. Freaking is like veterans are homeless on the streets, and you're like outraged about, oh my God, the suicide scene in 13 Reasons Why. Yeah. So really, really, I find this decision to be absolutely foolish. I'm against it, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Netflix has completely removed the scene now from that episode from season 1 of 13 Reasons Why. But this is also another um, standing or ground as to why, as much as I like Netflix, I love HBO a lot better. So I hope HBO never changes. I hope HBO continues to be artistically bold in their films and TV shows. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. My my thoughts about this uh, unfortunate decisions. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you agree or disagree with Netflix policy regarding 13 Reasons Why? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.